Good evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football YouTube channel. Welcome to the Nottingham Forest preview. It's a Friday evening. We have reached the end of the week and there is a big weekend of Premier League football coming up. It is good to see so many of you here. If you are new, please do subscribe to the channel down below. We're on the way to 29,000 subscribers. And if you could click the like button early doors, I would be very, very grateful. I hope you've all had a good week. I hope you're all doing well. Apologies for being 30 seconds late by my judgment. Ethan Udall, VV Vlad, Trust the Process, Cheyenne, Logical Nonsense, Alki, Emily, yo, Mr. Moman, Robert, welcome, Live Life, good to see you, Pekka, the Goon Platoon are assembling, Gooner Steve, I hope you're doing well. First order of business is to talk about Guehi. Yeah, we can talk about Guehi first of all if you want. It's up to you. Do you want to talk about Guehi first or do you want to go into the preview? Obviously, Mikel Arteta's press conference today might be the least useful of all time. And that, you know, given it's Mikel Arteta, is impressive because he gives some useless press conferences. But today, it might be the most useless. Isaac, good to see you. If spending was everything, then Liverpool would be first. If spending was everything, then Liverpool would be first right now. Chill. Yeah, that's fair enough. A matter of weeks. Not even a matter of weeks. Can we start with Guehi? Yeah, we can start with Guehi then. So, I mean, look, he's going to City, £20 million. There's speculation as to how much he's being paid. Some reports saying he's getting £300,000 a week at Man City. That's why he's there. Liverpool would never pay those wages for Guehi. Arsenal would never pay those wages for Guehi. You know, if we brought him in on 300 grand a week, he'd be on more than Saliba, who's just extended his deal. Guehi is not better than Saliba. He's not worth more money a week than Saliba. City are just ruthless at the end of the day, and they just are allowed to spend more than anyone else. Like, their PSR limit is higher than anyone else's. They can spend more than anyone else. They've spent 500 million quid in 12 months, and the mainstream media cheer them on. That's the craziest thing. The mainstream media cheer it on. Guehi is a good addition for it. There's no doubt about it. Like, Arsenal wanted him in the summer. If we could have done it next summer, Arteta's a big fan of him. He's a great player. You know, him and Semenyo in January is huge. It's massive. And they are going to be on our tail for the rest of the season. We just have to keep the lead at 6 points as much as we possibly can. They've signed a brand new starting 11 since last January. Yeah, that's what they do. It is ridiculous that they've got 115 charges over them, and it's just with 115 charges, which were brought to them 3 years ago at this point, they are just carrying on, and they've just spent 500 million quid in 12 months. And it's like, what is the point in this? Hand of Arsenal is here. A deal with City was at breaking point 2 days ago. What do we think changed his mind today? A tactical presentation. Money. It will have been money. It was a fairly unique situation where, not unique, but the sort of situation that like Erling Haaland was once in, where it's not about convincing the club to sell the player, it's about convincing the player to go to you. And they do that by spending. And God knows how much would have ended up being paid in agent fees that work their way back to people close to gate. Like, there's all sorts going on. It won't have been a tactical. It might have been a tactical presentation. I don't think it would have been, because I think Liverpool could very easily have gone to Guehi and said, look, you are going to come in and be the future of the back line. Konate is going to leave. Van Dijk's aging out. This is going to be you. At City, you're just another player. Like, at City, he will just be another player that will be an irrelevance in the history of the Premier League, because at City, it doesn't matter who you are or what you do. But yeah, 300 grand a week is crazy, realistically. An exuberant amount of money was the presentation. Yeah, for sure. But it is good to see Hand of Arsenal. I hope you're doing well. They can go ahead and sign Mbappe if they want to. It doesn't matter, the league's still in our hands. True. Did you see the AirPod Albert and Rice argument? Yeah, I did. We spoke about it yesterday. Arteta spoke about it in the press conference today. He said he didn't know it had happened and they had sorted it out before he even found out. So it's all good. I was being humorous. They opened the checkbook. Yeah, exactly. And look, it's just the annoying thing is people call City ambitious. That's what I've seen the word ambitious used about City so much today. Whereas Arsenal spending £1 billion over 6 years to try and rebuild the squad, that's like Arteta has to win, and if he doesn't, it's a failure. But with City, it's just ambitious. And then they'll say, well, yeah, because City have won 6 out of the last league titles. Yeah, because they've always had the best squad. The first time they've even come close to not having the best squad, they fell apart last season, and they're 6 points off in January this season. There is a genuinely very reasonable argument that Pep Guardiola cannot win unless he has the best squad. He didn't have the best squad when he first arrived in the Premier League. They then immediately spent an obscene amount of money to give him the best squad in the Premier League. He has then won fairly relentlessly until he stopped having the best team in the Premier League. But no one will take that argument. No one will have that argument. And no one even mentions how bad the squad was when Arteta joined. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then they'll talk about, but net spend. Yeah, but look at the net spend. The net spend is based on the previous spend. The net spend argument is genuinely the dumbest thing I ever see. Because obviously, if you've spent a huge amount in the past to build a squad full of sellable assets, then your net spend over the next period is going to be lower. It's the equivalent of, I inherit a load of money, right? And I buy a mansion. I buy a £2 million mansion with a load of money that I inherited, right? And that inheritance came from pretty dubious means. On the other, and I never work. I never worked for it. I've just inherited this mansion, basically, right? You, on the other hand, you work your ass off to save up the money to get a deposit for a £400,000 house. And you're super proud of your £400,000 house, right? And you've got a mortgage on it. And then I walk around and I spend £200,000 getting a pool in my mansion, right? So now in the last 5 years, I've spent £200,000. You've spent £400,000. And I go, wow, look at my mansion compared to your house. And you've spent double the money that I've spent. No, that's not how it works. Because you already had the mansion. It's the dumbest thing. Guehi going to City sucks, but let's not pretend that we don't have two better than him. Mosquera has a higher ceiling, in my opinion. Yeah, look, I'm not that bothered about Guehi going to Man City, to be honest with you. I would have kind of preferred it if he'd gone to Liverpool because we're not competing with them really this season. But I don't think it massively solves their problems because their defense hasn't been bad recently. You look at the games that they dropped points in, they didn't concede against. Who did they not concede against? Who did they not concede against? Was it Sunderland they didn't concede against? Did Sunderland end 0-0? One of them ended 0-0 and the other two were 1-1, right? Yeah, 0-0 against Sunderland, 1-1 against Chelsea, 1-1 against Brighton. So in their last 3 games where they've dropped 6 points, they've only conceded 2 goals in 3 games. That's not a problem defensively. So I don't think they've solved that. I think Semenyo is the far bigger one in terms of solving their problems. I also think where they have been vulnerable is set pieces. Crossing into the box, right? Donnarumma, I think, is weak under crosses. Guehi doesn't solve that problem. Guehi is one of the shorter centre-backs that you will find. Crystal Palace have had massive problems conceding from set pieces this season. So in terms of where I think they're still vulnerable defensively, I still think they're vulnerable there defensively. And it doesn't solve the fact that they've been struggling to score goals. So it's not like, I saw Boovy. I saw good old Boovy respond to the Guehi signing and say that means that Man City are now favourites to win the Premier League and the Champions League. I don't think it makes that much difference. I don't think they've suddenly gone from being second favourites for the Premier League and probably like third or fourth favourites for the Champions League to favourites for both just because they've signed Mark Guehi. Because if Gvardiol hadn't got injured, Gvardiol would be starting and they wouldn't have signed Mark Guehi. I don't think Guehi is better than Gvardiol. So from where they were 3 weeks ago to where they are now, I don't think that squad has improved. Of course, long term it has, but in the short term, I'm not convinced. Saka's on 300k too. I mean, this is the crazy thing, right? They're giving Guehi the same wages that Saka is on. Saka is our franchise player. Nobody can be paid more than Saka at the club, apparently, going into this new contract. And they've just thrown that at Mark Guehi. It's kind of crazy. They are favourites for everything. Not winning the quadruple would be a failure. Fair play. Yeah. But they won't be put under that sort of pressure. That's the other crazy thing. Let's also remember Guehi transfer is not a guarantee. It will work out as they're completely different levels and systems. Yeah, another fair point. I mean, Guehi's rarely played in a back four in the Premier League. You know, he's done it for England and he's done it well, which is why I don't think he will have any issues slotting as a centre-back in a back four, but might take a little bit of time to get used to. He's also played a huge amount of minutes this season. Crystal Palace have played more games than any other team this season, and he's played most of the minutes. So, Rory, would you now sign someone in January? No. City signing Guehi doesn't change our transfer business, in my opinion. I don't think it does. We're still going to see Kusanov starting for 5 weeks. Yeah, I mean, that's the other... You know, last January, they bought Kusanov and Vitor Reis. Reis, I think, is out on loan. And Kusanov, they've not used until they needed to. So... I sold a Kia for a Ferrari and my net spend is 350k. You sold a Porsche to buy the same Ferrari, your net spend is 150k. You then tell me it's ridiculous how I waste so much money on frivolous cars. Yeah, exactly. Can Guehi play in the FA Cup for City? No. Unless, well, they changed that rule in the Carabao, but I don't think they changed it in the FA Cup, right? No, I think maybe he can. I don't know if they changed it for the Carabao Cup. Wait, let me just read this. Mark Guehi's FA Cup dreams are still alive thanks to a surprise rule change despite Crystal Palace crashing out of the FA Cup. His presence caused concern for fans of Guehi suitors such as Liverpool, yada, yada, yada. Historically, FA Cup rules prevent a player from representing more than one club in the competition. This has led to some clubs in the past leaving a player out of their squad in an attempt not to jeopardise potential transfer. Several fans expressed fears that Guehi would be cup-tied. The previous rule simply said a player shall only play for one club in the competition during the same season. From this year's competition rules, it adds, save that a player that has played for one club in the qualifying competition and or the competition proper may play for a maximum of one other club in the competition proper, but may only play for a maximum of one club in any given round of the competition. While complicated wording, the amendment allows for players to represent more than one club in the competition as long as it's not in the same round. This prospect is unlikely, given that replays were scrapped last year. So yeah, no, so he can. So he can play for City in the FA Cup. There you go. So that means City have signed Semenyo and Guehi, and neither of them are cup tied. Only over 200 viewers, but only 38 likes. We can do better than this, Goon Platoon. Yeah, please do click the like button if you can. I mean, it's not even an if you can. You can click the like button. Anyone can. It's free and it's easy. So if you could be so kind to click the like button, I would be grateful. When was it changed? Last night? Yeah. A bit ridiculous. Anyway, look, that's the Guehi chat. We might come back to it, but let's get on to rule here for Mikel Arteta's press conference. Here we go, right? Are there any fresh injury concerns? No. That's a good thing. Makes a change. Is there any chance for players who have been missing out? It might be. I need to meet now with the medical staff. We have a training session now to see if anybody is available for the weekend. Who they might be, can't tell you. Okay. So, who knows? The one that I think might be available is Mosquera. If I'm honest with you, I don't think Hincapié will be. I don't think Calafiori will be. I don't think even if Max Dalman was available, he'd be in the squad. I think Mosquera might be available. He spoke about how Gyökeres has been behind the scenes. He said, I haven't seen him doubt himself. Obviously, he's a very demanding person. He knows the level that we need. And basically, he really wants to fulfill everything that we expect of him. He's been trying. He's been very consistent. And I thought against Chelsea, he had a great game and scored a goal that helped us to win the game. On Gyökeres having to get used to the scrutiny, he said, for the rest of his career, I think when you know what he's done in the last few years, you set a standard and everybody expects you to maintain it. On if that scrutiny and criticism has been fair, he said, I don't know. It's part of the expectations, but it's not only for Victor, it's for every number 9 in the league or in every top club. In every position that you play, you might see it. We expect to be really good, really consistent, and to win constantly, and that's what we have to try to do. So he's not said that the criticism has been unfair. His presses are boring. Yeah, they are. What even happened to Calafiori? Hamstring? We don't know. We don't know. We've never been given any clarity as to what the Calafiori injury is, which is unusual because for every other player, if you get an injury that keeps you out for over a month, the club normally say what it was. So, Hincapie's hamstring injury, Mosquera was that sort of ankle injury thing. I assume it was a muscular injury for Calafiori, but I don't know what one. Yeah, he said it was just strange and awkward. The only time he spoke about it, he said it was a strange and awkward injury. So he was asked if he'll have an eye on the Man City game tomorrow. He said, we know that we can only focus on what we can do. When the games are earlier, if you have the possibility to see them, you do it. If they're later, the same. Nothing changes. But the only focus and the aim is to prepare for a very, very tough match. We've experienced that over there, and we have to win it. He was asked about Zubimendi's offensive contributions. Obviously, we spoke about that yesterday. He said, I'm very happy with the manner that he settled at the club. When you talk to any member of staff or player about him, he has a big smile on his face, and that's something very positive. I think he's earned the respect very, very quickly of everybody here, our supporters and the league in general, and that's very difficult to do. He's done it because he's very humble, very focused, incredibly consistent, and on top of that, he's surprising a few people with his ability to attack the opposition box. Oh, yeah. If Cala is long-term, then Zinni, not for me. Not for me. I don't think we need to bring Zinchenko back, to be honest with you. It would be one of those. Calafiori is not far away. Hincapie is not far away. Miles Lewis-Skelly is there. Like, we're not that far away from defenders missing out on the squad. So Zinchenko would just sit on the bench on over 100 grand a week for the rest of the season. I wouldn't do it. Hincapie was hamstring. Calafiori is muscle. Yeah, but it's more like what muscle? Hamstring, calf. Who knows? Groin. What's happening to the 115, 130 charges? I just want to know if I'm in a title race against legitimate titans or scumbags. No idea. No idea. And this is the frustrating thing. Like, this was meant to be settled so much more quickly than it has been. So who knows? Literally, who knows? Timber or MLS at left back tomorrow? We'll talk about that. We will talk about that. I think it's an interesting one. In fact, we can talk about that now, in fairness. Let me just bring up the old FOTMob. I was looking at the Man City fixtures. Here we go. Forest versus Arsenal. I don't know who's actually out for them, in fairness. Who's out for them? Zinchenko's obviously, he's not suspended. He's cup tied. Victor, Yates, and Wood. So nothing massive for them in terms of players that are missing. Now, for us, I would go Raya in goal. I would again go Ben White at right back. Now, the only worry about Ben White, he played 69 minutes against Portsmouth. He played the full 90 against Chelsea. We know last time we played him 4 games in a row, and he got injured. My concern is that Jurgen Timber only played 20 minutes against Portsmouth, but he played 90 against Liverpool, 90 against Bournemouth, 83 against Villa. Like, it's been relentless for Jurgen Timber, and I am concerned. I am concerned about us just burning him out completely. So I would go Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, and then I'd go Miles Lewis-Skelly at left back. Now, is that a bit of a risk? Yeah, it is a bit of a risk because I do think Miles Lewis-Skelly has been vulnerable at left back. I do think he's vulnerable to players running in behind him. And if there is a threat that Nottingham Forest pose, it is pace on the wings. It is transition. So it is a bit of a risk. But for me, a bigger risk is continuing to rinse Jurgen Timber until he gets injured. That's more damaging long-term than playing Miles Lewis-Skelly. And I think you can get away with it a little bit with Miles Lewis-Skelly if Declan Rice is in the team. Ross Lundman said, if Calla had a groin injury, I bet Laura Kirk-Francis would have announced that already. That's crazy. That is crazy. That would be my midfield. Zubimendi, Rice, Ødegaard. I think it's the best midfield that we've got, 100%. And then I'm torn up top. I would go Gyökeres again. I want to see more of Ben White and Gyökeres with Ødegaard in the team. Off the left, I would bring Eze back in off the left-hand side. Give him a go. I think we've really sort of just dropped him out of the team since the Villa game. I would give him a go on the left-hand side. And then on the right, it's between Madueke and Saka. And part of me wants to go Saka because I want to develop the relationship between White, Ødegaard, Saka, and Gyökeres. But also, I think Saka can do with a break. We can bring Madueke in. So that's the sticky one. I think I'll probably go Madueke. I resigned from the Goon Platoon after Rory outed me. I didn't out you, Nid. You outed yourself. Wilsey, good to see you. It's been a while. I hope you're well. Ezra and Madueke could use the game. Yeah, exactly. And by the way, I'll tell you this for free, right? I don't think Mikel Arteta is going to rotate that much against Inter Milan. I know everyone assumes that he will rotate against Inter Milan ahead of Manchester United. I think he will want to get a draw. I think he will want to draw that game at a minimum because that almost guarantees that we finish top of the Champions League phase. And I think he wants that. Even from look, I don't think he's got a crazy ego, but he does have a bit of an ego. And I think his ego will want us to finish top of the Champions League phase. Draw against Inter Milan, then all you have to do is beat Kairat Almaty and you are guaranteed a top of the table finish. So on that basis, I think we need to rotate a bit against Nottingham Forest. But obviously you can't take the piss. Like, Forest are in poor form. Don't get me wrong. They are 17th in the league. They've actually not been great recently. You know, they got knocked out of the FA Cup by Wrexham. They scraped a win against West Ham. They lost to Villa. They lost to Everton. They lost to City. They lost to Fulham. All right, they battered Tottenham, but that's Dr. Tottenham. And then even before that, they lost another game to Everton. They scraped past Wolves. They lost to Brighton. For me, like, I know people go, oh, City ground, Nottingham Forest, really tough game. I don't think it should be that tough, if I'm honest with you. I'd back us even with some rotation to get a point at Inter. Yeah, well, look, Inter haven't been great themselves, to be honest. Inter have not been great themselves. If you look at their recent results, they are... Where are they? They beat Lecce 1-0. I mean, to be fair, it's not bad. They've not lost since they lost to Liverpool. But I would back us to beat them. To draw against them. I would back us to draw against them, even with a bit of rotation. I have no memory of that Spurs defeat to Forest. Do you not remember it? It was Sangare scored a lovely goal. Gibbs White... Did Gibbs White score? Sangare definitely did. And then another one. Who was the other one that scored? Can't remember now. Did Savona score? I think Savona scored. Inter are top of the league, to be fair. Yeah, but look at the league. It's got 0-0 written all over it, to be honest, Arsenal against Inter. Yeah, Archie Gray gave the ball away. That was the one. We beat Forest 3-0 this season at home, where Eze assisted Gyökeres. Would love to see them together again. Yeah, I agree. Do we think that Berta will pull another clutch deal out of thin air this window? I don't think so. To be honest. The squad's too full. I think if we were going to see us do any sort of... If we were going to see us buy a player, I think we'd have to see us sell a player. And there's been absolutely no signs of us selling a player. Wilsey, thank you very, very much for being a member for 21 months. He says, chat, quick question. Is anyone else unable to leave comments on Rory's YouTube shorts or just me? I don't know. Anyone else? Is there anyone else that's not able to leave comments on my YouTube shorts? Let me know. But Wilsey, thank you for being a member for 21 months. That's unbelievable support. I also reckon there's players like Rice, Saka, Gabby, and Saliba that want to play in the last season of the San Siro, as they've not played there before. Possibly. No, but they all have played at San Siro before. We played there last year. So they all played there last year. They might want to win there. Willow's comments lately kind of scare me. They don't scare me. Saliba's comments recently about wanting to win and that being the most important thing, good. Streaming the game on Big Up tomorrow? Yes, we will be live on Big Up for the watch along tomorrow. If you go on to Big Up now you can use the app now. Big Up has an app. You will see that the stream is already there. So I have that issue on shorts, but it's not every time. Strange. Ethan Udall, thank you very, very much for being a member for 6 months. What would be your updated predictions for the top 5 and bottom 3 this season? Loving the regular streams and hope you enjoyed Norway. I did enjoy Norway, thank you. I'm buzzing to be back with the streams and the consistent content. And my updated predictions for top 5, bottom 3. Top 5, I think you're looking at Arsenal, City, Villa, Liverpool, and probably Chelsea, to be honest with you. I think that's what you're looking at. I think Liverpool and Chelsea will just get there based on everyone else being a bit crap. Newcastle look crap. Like, Newcastle have clawed it back a little bit, but I think overall they look a bit crap. United, I think, are going to struggle under Carrick. So, yeah, that's what I would go for. But thank you very much for being a member for 6 months. Rory, do you have to make an account with Big Up? No, you don't have to make an account. Although if you do make an account, the experience is a lot better. You don't have to pay or anything to make an account. It's completely free, but it means you can get involved in the chat, all of that good stuff. Why are we leaking silly goals? I think it's concentration. But it does need to stop. Who do you think is the player that's returning tomorrow? If a player returns tomorrow, I think it will be Mosquera. Mosquera at this point has been out for longer than the prediction was. If you actually think back to it, Mosquera and Gabriel were both meant to return at a pretty similar time. So, yeah, I think it'll be Mosquera. Will you do a Manchester Derby watch along? No, I won't. Just because I don't want to be streaming for like 5 hours tomorrow. Weren't Rice, Saka, and Saliba injured and not in last season's squad? Oh, you might have a point. Ross. Let's go and find out. You do raise a very good point, though. Why? I honestly, I hate using the app. Sorry, the website instead of the app. Like, why can I not go back to Arsenal's matches from before? Why is desktop harder to use than an app? How do I go back? You can't. How do I go back to previous games? Oh. No, you can't. You can't do it. I don't know. I don't know what the honestly. It's ridiculous. Go to Inter all head to head. How do I do that? Yeah, but how do I see our head to head with it? I don't know. I can't be bothered. Someone can do it for me. I can't be bothered. It's so stupid. Why is it? Why would the website not just work in the same way as the app? Does my head in. Fernandez is available for 6 mil if we're serious. Who? Dro Fernandez. Who's that? Go to the Inter game now and the head-to-head. How can I go? Oh, no, I get what you mean. Okay, if I click it here and then go head-to-head, I get you. There we go. So our team was Nah, Saka played, Saliba played. Declan Rice didn't play. So Declan Rice has never played at the San Siro. But there you go. Barca, La Masia, young kids. If Barca are willing to let him go for 6 million quid, I'd be questioning it. I would be questioning it. Rory showing his unk status like you wouldn't believe. Like you wouldn't believe. I'll tell you what. That lineup, that lineup was crazy. I mean, to be honest, our team wasn't even too bad at that point. That was when we still had Saka, still had Gabriel. It got worse. It got worse from here. But yeah. In the summer, sell Marino. Nah. No. Jesus, Martinelli, Norgard, promote Miles to midfield, sign Boadi and Yildiz, sell Trossard after if things go well. I wouldn't sign Mikel Marino. Mikel Marino is such a good player to have in the squad. He's incredibly versatile. He can play in midfield. He can play up top. He can play as a second striker. He's incredibly intelligent. He's a leader. He's a good head. Jesus, fine. Martinelli, possibly, if you're going and getting Kenan Yildiz. Norgard, if you're getting Boadi, fine. But I would not be selling Mikel Marino. Fernandez is talented, but wants to leave, apparently, because Yamal is their right wing forever. Yeah, so he's not good. A player that wants to play at right wing and isn't getting into the team because he's competing with Lamine Yamal is not going to go to a team that's just made Bukayo Saka the franchise. Do you reckon Yildiz is actually realistic for the summer? Yes. Yes, I do. We've got the connection to Italy. We've got a genuine opportunity to bring someone in where we can say to them, you are the left wing project. And Serie A is broke. Teams in Serie A are just broke. We will be able to pay for it. As much as Juve might want to keep hold of him, you look at when Sandro Tonali left Serie A to Newcastle. He was like a prized possession, but money is money, and they need it. It's sad to see. I saw today Jack Harrison going from Leeds to Fiorentina. Fiorentina was a powerful Italian club. And in this day and age, they've got to resort to signing Jack Harrison from Leeds United at 29 years old. Just is what it is. Pigeonhead, thank you very, very much for gifting a membership to the channel. If you have just been gifted a membership, he says, sorry, I'm late. You do not need to apologize. If you've just been gifted that membership by Pigeonhead, please do make sure to thank him in the chat. Absolute legend. Yildiz in January? Nah, it's so much harder to do deals in January. It's so much harder. The only reason that City have been able to do Semenyo and Guehi is because Semenyo was a release clause and Guehi was going on a free in the summer. So for Palace, it was either you get some money or you get nothing. Generally speaking, if someone doesn't have a release clause in their contract and they're not out of contract in the summer, it's very difficult to persuade a club to sell them. I want Rodgers for left wing. For me, I would love Rodgers to be at the club. Again, in terms of that versatility, he can play centrally, he can play off the left. I don't think you do Rodgers when you've just done Eze, to be honest with you. But for the left wing, for me, it'd be Kenan Yildiz. Yildiz will score bangers for us. He would. Thoughts on the Gallagher transfer? Firstly, I think Atletico Madrid have done unbelievably well to basically barely make a loss on him. I think it's just Tottenham coded. It's just another runner in midfield that's not going to elevate the team particularly. It's not going to cause them to create more. Yeah, I think it's a bit of a nothing signing, to be honest with you. We don't need to spend money. Holding on to money for the summer is more important. I agree. We also spent a lot last summer. It's going to be difficult to spend that much. With Glasner leaving Palace, anybody we could get as a market opportunity? No, I don't think so. I don't think any players will leave Palace along with him. I think Guehi was probably the one. Outside of that, to be honest, there's not really anyone that I look at Palace that, other than Adam Wharton, who, again, I think Adam Wharton wouldn't want to come to Arsenal when Zubimendi Rice is going to be the midfield for a long, long time. Ayub Boadi, I think, is more reasonable. in terms of him coming and learning and developing. Adam Wharton is ready to walk into a top team and start games. Got to remember, we've actually got to pay for Hincapié in part this summer. Yeah, we do have to pay for Hincapié next summer. We do also get money coming in from Nuno Tavares, from Jakub Kivior, hopefully from Fabio Vieira. But yeah. Actually not worried about bringing in anyone in January for once. Berta Summer will stop. Yeah, me too. Me too. I said it across, November, December. The only point where I would be wanting us actively to bring someone in January would be if we had an injury crisis in one specific position. And we've had it a little bit, where we were playing Marino again, but we've come through that. All of those players are now fit and available. So I think we're okay. Surely this summer we finally make a decent sale. We will. We are just about getting to the point where we will start making reasonable sales. For sure. Forgot Fabio even existed. Yeah. You still got Sambi Lokonga. United have definitely told Glasner that they want him. So he's packing his bags and going there in the summer. Very possibly. Very possibly. Do you see anything positive coming from United City? No. Not particularly, no. Reece Nelson, yeah. Gonna spam Dro till Rory agrees to check Dro. He's a left wing and a cam, not a right wing. Dro Fernandez. Right-footed. Well, according to this, he's an attacking midfielder. He started one game in La Liga. How have you even seen this kid? He's played 90 minutes in the entirety of La Liga. And he's not even been playing in the Cups. When have you seen this player play? When have you seen this player play? Oh, yeah, Sambi. Yeah, Sambi went permanently. You're right. Sambi went. I refuse to believe that you've seen this player. He's played 90 minutes of football. So, by the way, there's over 300 of you here. If you could subscribe if you're not already and like the video, I would be grateful. What are your thoughts on Zinchenko's situation? I think he could be valuable in terms of playing the dead rubbers, e.g. Wigan. No, I disagree because Miles can play the dead rubbers. And once players are back, there's every chance that within the next couple of weeks, Hincapié's back, Calafiori's back, Mosquera's back. There's every chance Miles Lewis-Skelly isn't going to be making it into matchday squads within the next couple of weeks. So, paying over 100 grand a week for Zinchenko to not even be in the squad, you'd end up paying with what? How many weeks of the season left? About 20 weeks, 25 weeks of the season. You're looking at you'd be paying 2.5 million quid. Just to have him not in the squad. So, Havertz's return will go under the radar, but this team will be 5 times better with him. I hope so. Have you seen City's upcoming fixtures? As long as we keep it at 6 points, I could see City dropping more points in the next few weeks. Yeah, they're if you look at... Wait, let me bring this back up. If you look at Man City's fixtures compared to ours over the next few weeks... we are in a much nicer position. So they're away at United. They then go away to Bodo. Luckily for them, they're then at home to Wolves. But then it's Galatasaray, which will be tough. Spurs away, Newcastle second leg, Liverpool away. Then it's Fulham and an easy FA Cup game. Then it's Newcastle again. It's tough for them. For us, it's not too bad. We've got... Obviously, we're currently in the middle of playing 4 away games in a row. So we've done away Portsmouth, away Chelsea, away Forest, away Inter. But then, it's home to United, but then it's Kairat, Leeds, second leg, Sunderland, Brentford, Wigan. We play, in this period here as well, we play 5 home games out of 7, and the 2 away games are at Brentford and at Leeds. That is pretty good, given how good our home record is and the fact that they're not even, only 2 of them are Premier League games. I think we're in a good spot. I do think we're in a good spot to kick on. Leeds away isn't easy by any means. No, it's not. But, us and City both have to go to Leeds away. So the good thing is our Champions League game before it is at home to Kairat Almaty. So you would think that we can rest some players there. Don't get. I'm not getting complacent. I'm just on paper, like it is a little bit of an easier run, and we also just don't play much in February. Again, if I bring it back up, actually, in February we play Tuesday, Saturday, Thursday, but then it's Saturday, Sunday, Sunday. We actually have, because in these two gaps, it's the Champions League playoffs. So we get a full week off between. I mean, this really, we play away at Brentford. We're then at home against Wigan in the FA Cup, where we can definitely rotate. We then have 8 days off before the North London derby away at Spurs. They are probably going to have to play a playoff game in that midweek as well. Then we get another full week off before Chelsea at home, where again, if we're lucky, Chelsea might have to play a playoff game at that point as well. So, yeah, it's quite good. It's quite good. Insane. We had so many games in January compared to February. Yeah, it is. The Wigan game isn't actually the Saturday, is it? No, actually, you're right. The Wigan game won't be the Saturday. It'll be the Sunday or the Monday. You're right. Because we play Brentford on the Thursday night, the Wigan game will probably be on the Sunday afternoon. So it'll be Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Someone keeps asking about Onana. To be fair, I did see the Onana thing, but why don't we go for Onana from Villa? Because they need, they're not going to sell. Why would they sell him? They're not going to sell Onana. He's a big part of their squad. I like Onana. If before he went to Villa, it was a player I would have liked us to buy, but March to May would be hectic again. Oh, for sure. But at least, if you in that February period, you can regroup a little bit. You can catch up on a bit of fitness, a bit of rest. You know, a lot of players play through knocks and stuff. Those midweeks off, you can rest. It's been confirmed Sunday 4:30. There you go. So Wigan is Sunday 4:30. Spurs is Sunday 4:30. Chelsea is Sunday 4:30. So it's just back to back Sunday 4:30s with no midweek games, which is nice. Do we think City have finished spending? City have half of January left to buy. If they do drop more points, maybe. I don't know. I don't think they can spend much more. There is a limitation even with them for how much they can actually spend. The FA Cup quarterfinals and semis being totally fucked from that 3-week international break. When are the quarters and semis? I don't even know. It's not a 3-week international break. It's just a normal international break, isn't it? Oh no, it is a 3-week international break. What the hell? What is this? We don't play a game between the 21st of March and the 11th of April. What the hell? Why is that? Why, Delilah? That's horrible. Quarterfinal was supposed to be the 4th of April. FA Cup and UCL game, 4th of April. Oh, wait, so there are games on the 4th of April, or not? But England don't. But surely England don't even play. Surely we don't even have games. Yeah, England play on. Is it not that the FA Cup weekend is on the 4th of April? Because England play on the 27th and the 31st. So is it not just that the FA Cup quarterfinals are on the 4th of April? Carabao Cup finals, the 22nd of March. Oh, the 4th is the FA Cup. Okay. So it's a normal international break then. And the Carabao Cup final, if we're in that, is the 22nd of March. Yeah, okay. So it's a normal international break. Ross, you had me panicking then. You had me absolute panicking Skywalker then, Ross. Jesus. I don't know what I'd have done. I'll tell you what I'd have done. We'd have been off on another adventure is what we'd have done. Goodness me. UCL quarterfinal that week. Yeah, but that's a midweek, right? Genuinely check out Dro after the stream. He also played against Olympiacos. And of course, La Masia. Genuinely check him out. I'll check him out. I will check him out. Check him out. Check him out. That's what I thought it was. My bad. Ross, you've panicked the whole stream there. Anyway, look, it's time for the quiz. It is time for the quiz. Get your fingers on your keyboards. As always, the first person to get it right in the chat wins the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community. The question today is this. In January 2022, then Championship side Nottingham Forest knocked us out of the FA Cup. But who scored the winning goal? In January 2022, then Championship side Nottingham Forest knocked us out of the FA Cup. But who scored the winning goal? Dun, 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 dun. The bearded fella is unfortunately not enough. Who's going to get it? Who's going to get it? I wouldn't blame you for erasing it from your memory, to be fair. It was not Spence. Jed Spence had a really good game, but it was not him that scored the goal. The winner it's Ethan Udall. It was indeed Lewis Graben that scored the goal. George Christodoulou second, AFC 456 third. Sammy Bennett, grab on. He's grabbed onto fourth place is what he has done. And fifth was Cheese Straw 16. So there you go. Congratulations to Ethan Udall, who is today's winner. Autocorrect did it to grab ass. Crazy. Great. I bet yours did, Nid. Tavares masterclass of 30 minutes. Yeah. VAR goal given, no 3-week international break is your reward. There you go. Come on, surely that counts. Unfortunately not. Score prediction for tomorrow. I'm going to say 3-1 to Arsenal. 3-1 to Arsenal's my score prediction. You can come and let me know your score predictions when we start the stream on Big Up tomorrow. That is where we're doing the watch along. I will catch you there. If not, there will be a match reaction video out on the YouTube channel tomorrow evening. And other than that, I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Dream world, we extend the lead over Man City further. But worst case, let's just maintain that 6-point gap. And have a good evening. I'll catch you all tomorrow. And goodbye.